2 checks were brought in and they weren't good, and then another check was brought in, and then which again wasn't good either. They contacted the lender, and the lender has no record of that check ever being cashed or being created, any knowledge of it whatsoever. So that's all we have an issue here when it comes to the checks. So what's going on with the checks?
Okay. Are you ever arrested before? Huh? You ever arrested? I turned myself in one time before. For what? In Port Charlotte.
They're going to tell me.
Yeah, of course. No, it's it's an insurance fraud. And it was a job that we did in Port Charlotte. It's currently outstanding.
On May 6th, 2025, officers responded to a Florida car dealership where a buyer had submitted 3 checks for a $9,500 down payment. The issuing bank, First Horizon, had no record any of those checks existed. This footage raises 3 distinct legal questions worth examining closely. First, was the Miranda advisement constitutionally sound? Second, did probable cause support the arrest? Third, what separates a civil check dispute from a criminal fraud charge?
Are you, the black Tesla out front? Are you guys? Is that your ride?
Yeah.
That's your ride?
Yeah.
Plastic 10-4's the ride.
All right. So what's going on today? You guys are trying to purchase something?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you guys trying to purchase?
What? We're to purchase something.
Okay. So what exactly is happening with the contract?
I guess there's a problem. I guess there's a problem with the check. So I'm just gonna be very straight up and honesty goes a long way. The check's bad. So what's the deal with with checks and going on and stuff like that?
What do you mean?
The checks used to purchase said vehicle are bad. And there's another check brought in that is also bad. Do you have the check?
To purchase this vehicle?
Yeah, that comes from my account.
Okay, can we see it?
Do you have the check?
Do me a favor, just go ahead and have a seat. As well. Do you have, and it's in the First Horizon, so who is, what is First Horizon to you guys?
That is our bank.
Right.
Alright. And who's the account holder for it?
Joseph Rick is the account holder for that account.
That's you?
Yeah.
That's your ID, please?
You bring the ID?
Okay, so in order to sign paper, you're going to need some type of ID.
We had already signed the paper. We already did this. The bank already
Plastic 10?
was already done. Like we're only collecting another payment.
Everything that's been done, do you have all the papers and stuff?
Okay.
Let me see.
So
Miranda versus Arizona, 1966, requires a full advisement before any custodial interrogation. The officer administered all 4 Miranda rights in sequence and confirmed the subject understood each one. The subject responded affirmatively. Under Colorado versus Spring, 1987, a waiver is valid when it is knowing, voluntary, and intelligent based on the totality of circumstances. All 3 elements appear satisfied here. The waiver is constitutionally sound. Probable cause is governed by Illinois versus Gates, 1983. Which uses a totality of circumstances standard, not any single piece of evidence. Here, 3 unverifiable checks, a bank with no record of their creation, and a prior outstanding fraud matter in Charlotte County collectively satisfy that standard. No single factor is required to be conclusive. The combination is legally sufficient. The central criminal question in this case is knowledge at the time of issuance. Florida Statute Section 832.0-5. The worthless check statute criminalizes issuing a check with knowledge that sufficient funds are not on deposit. The subject stated on camera after waiving Miranda that when the first check was submitted, she knew the funds were not yet available, expecting incoming business deposits to cover it. That admission establishes the knowledge element the statute requires. The defense argument would center on the bank's own conduct telling her funds would clear within 24 to 48 hours, and that a dealership salesperson accompanied her to the branch. However, First Horizon told officers the third check was never submitted for processing at all. That directly contradicts her account and eliminates the good faith reliance defense.
where's Colton? So I can speak to, oh, perfect. All right.
And then for you also.
Okay, good. So I was the officer you spoke to earlier. So,
Oh, perfect.
regarding everything, okay. So, from my recollection from our conversation, they basically everything went through, but now it's just waiting on. Is this like a down payment for the complete payment of the car?
Yeah, so the initial down payment, which was $9,500, they've given us already 2 bad checks.
Okay.
If they have any visiting statement from whoever was involved, or I'm going to find somebody there, we're not going to ask any questions unless we Miranda.
Okay.
So I'm going to do it that way. It's going to be a 52.
They've already wrote me 2 bad checks, and now they brought me a 3rd check, which we can't verify as well. So all these checks, I called their lender today to see if they can verify that check. She says they have no indication of that check, that it's basically fraudulent.
Okay.
So we also ran her records, of course, and we noticed that she had a prior to this type of stuff.
Oh, so this is over the down payment of the actual.
Yeah, so the actual contract itself, I mean, it's a fundable contract. Like, we have a real approval with the bank.
It's a consistent down payment.
The whole initial down
in order for make the deal to be complete.
Correct. $9,500, which we've already tried them to get multiple. I said, can you just bring me cash? Because I can't do that. It's got to be a cashier's check. I said, a cashier's check is cash. Just go to your bank and pull the money out. She goes, oh, they won't let me do that. I have to wait 24 hours.
And this is all within today?
Today. Literally, yeah, within today.
Okay.
So when you told me you cleared the check,
I called, but it was already late. I told you that.
I know, but you told me you guys were good. I mean, you told me we needed to sign
We ran through our
something. I mean,
system. We ran through our system, and they told me I was good. I'm like, we're good to go. So what are we doing? My job is just to mess with it. I don't know anything about this.
okay.
See, all right. So before we ask you any questions, I'm just going to read your rights, okay? So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions, and to have counsel present during the interview. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you before any questioning. If you wish, if you decide to answer questions without a lawyer present, you will still have the right to stop answering at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you ask for a lawyer, okay? Okay, do you understand each of these rights that I've explained to you?
Yes.
Okay. Have you had previously requested for any law enforcement officer to allow you to speak to an attorney? Have you previously asked any law enforcement officials to speak to an attorney before anything? Okay. With these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to me?
Sure.
Okay. The reason why we're here is because there's a deal with going on with the car, from my knowledge, okay? And then with said knowledge of the vehicle, there was, for a down payment of $9,500, I guess 2 checks were brought in and they weren't good. And then another check was brought in, and then which again wasn't good either. They contacted the lender, and the lender has no record of that check ever being cashed or being created, any knowledge of it whatsoever. So that's all we have an issue here when it comes to the checks. So what's going on with the checks?
Okay. So we've been trying to buy this car for probably about a month and a half, right?
Okay.
3 weeks after they were trying to get approval. 3 weeks after, they called me like, hey, we're good to go. You guys can come and you'll have the deal, whatever. You guys can move forward with picking up the car.
Okay.
Sure, no problem. Originally it was a $7,000 down payment. We come here. Then they're like, oh, the down payment is going to be $9,500 or something like that because we're going to waive something, yada yada. That was about 2 weeks ago or something like that. I asked them, how can I make the payment, for the down payment? I said, I can bring you a business check, like what can I make it? And then I even asked, I said, this was on a Friday or Saturday or something like that, so the bank was closed. So bring the check, and they call me on Wednesday. And they say that the check returned, the funds weren't available or something like that. So I go back,
So when were you notified of that?
That was, when have I grabbed my phone?
To the best of your knowledge.
To the best of your knowledge. So the first time they checked didn't go through, what day was that?
Thursday of last week or something like that?
Last Thursday? Okay.
Yeah. So then that's when the check didn't go through. And so then I came in. They asked me to give them a Oh no. I was here. So with the whole situation that it was 2 checks and stuff like that, I had given them the wrong check, the original check for the original deal before they had asked me to go to get the that the increase of the down payment was from 7,000. So I had originally given them, when we were here, we had 2 checks, the one for 7,000 and the one for 95. I had given him the wrong check, so I came back and I brought him the correct check with the original down payment amount of 95.
Okay, and that was on Thursday.
That was on Thursday.
So you brought 2 checks.
Yeah. So.
And what was the lender for the checks? What was the bank used for the checks?
First Horizon. That's our bank. This is the same bank that we've. Our account was First Horizon.
Checks.
So, not a problem. He calls me today. Well, he calls Joe today, and Joe texts me and says, emergency, Arrigo called. I said, okay, no problem.
Who's Joe?
The gentleman that's right next to me.
Who's he?
He is my partner, my son's dad.
Okay.
So, his name is who the account.
Is it like a
It's his account.
Oh, it's his account. So it's a loan that's going to him.
No. So the vehicle is for both of us. We both signed for the vehicle.
Oh, you're co-signers.
Yeah, we both signed for the vehicle, but the bank where the funds are coming from is his bank. It's his main account. That's the account where the check is written out of. So he calls me, tells him that Mayor called him and told him that there was an issue with the check.
Yeah.
I come here immediately to try to address it, to try to figure out what's going on. I call the bank. The bank obviously tells me, that the payment returned or whatever not, that they can put a stop payment to the check or something like that, and that they can, and then the funds would be back in my account the next day. Within 24 to 48 hours, they could, because when you get like a draft, a printed draft, they take the funds out to put them into the check or something like that. I'm not sure. So I came here with them and I said, listen, what do you want me to do? I said, do you want me to go to the bank and get you another check from the bank, or do you want me to give you, give you the funds that I have on another account and then come in the morning with the remaining balance? And then he was the one that said, no, I'll send you to the bank with your, I'll send you to the bank with somebody. So one of his salesperson took me to the bank, went to the bank, came back, and that's the check that I gave him. And then he was just telling me like he already called and he cleared, everything was good, not a problem. Have Joe come because we have to re-sign the buyer's order, and that's it. And then you guys walked in when we were about to do that.
Okay.
They haven't, the last check that I brought him, they don't know if it cleared or not or anything, because he told me that he had called to verify and that, on his end it was fine, but he still had to take it to the bank and try to get it cashed and whatever not.
So as of right now, you have tried to clear 2 checks with this company?
As of right now, I have, 1 check in the return, so I gave him, this is the check that returned, says the funds weren't available, and this is the...
And that check was that was the check for $9,500?
Yeah, it's only 1 check for $9,500. That is the deposit. That is the down payment. And so then the other thing is, that was the down payment. The company that I guess financed the vehicle, which was American Credit Acceptance, I called them this morning to find out if they already paid them and they issued funding, and they told me that they had. The only thing that they were missing from them was some paperwork, but that it was already in funding, and so that they received the additional difference of the funds, which was the $20,000 and some change.
Okay.
So, I had no idea. I gave them the option of, what do you want me to do? They even took me themselves to the bank. He was like, oh, don't take your Uber, we'll drive you there or something like that. And he had one of the gentlemen drive me to the bank.
Okay.
And
what did you do at the bank?
Huh?
What did you do at the bank?
Check.
Okay. Which check did you get?
The one that I gave him, that he told me that he hasn't cashed or anything because he's not able to cash it or whatever now.
And this is the check that you handed to me?
Yes.
Okay.
The check that
Do you know what check number that was that they gave me?
It starts with a 9, I believe.
Okay, so you said you have the bank statements. Normally, if you look at the bank statements, it'll tell you what check number they wrote out. Is there a way for you to get into that?
Well, the bank statement is going to give you the bank statements that's already been released. You mean the account itself?
So when you purchase a buyer's check, it tells you the check number that they're issuing.
But no, so it's not. It's a business account. So what they do is it's a draft check. They print us the check. They print us the
It'll show you
check.
the bank check number.
I don't know.
And all of this is coming from your account?
It's his account. It's Joe's.
Are you on his account at all?
Like, are you like an authorized user? Are you able to access the funds from his account?
I'm in the business, part of the business account, yes.
Okay.
But he's the main signer on the account. I'm just an authorized person on the account.
Okay. And each one of these checks you physically got from the bank?
No, only one of them. The first two, we use our system to print our draft checks out.
What's
QuickBooks, which is what we use.
Use QuickBooks. Okay.
Yes.
Let me see that account. That check.
He's gonna have to open the account. I can't. So it's probably on possible. No, sorry.
So have you at any point contacted the bank directly? Did you ever think to contact your actual bank regarding the reason why the checks aren't going through? Have you contacted them at any
This
point?
morning, that's when I found out about it returning today. That's when I reached out to them. I asked them about why the check didn't, clear or whatever is going on, because they had told me that it didn't clear because of sufficient funds.
Okay.
So I asked them, do you have other deposits? We had other deposits coming into the account, so I asked them, and so that's when they told me, the funds would be in the account within 24 to 48 hours or something like that. So to tell them that if they wanted the funds in cash, if you wanted cash, I would have to bring it to them tomorrow. I could give them some funds today and then the remaining tomorrow.
So the check was written. The check was written prior to funds being available.
Correct. The first check, yes.
Okay.
And they were aware of that. Yes.
And this is from the influx of money. That's from the business side of it.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. And
but as of right now, as of what I knew today was, hey, the check didn't clear. There was not funds or something. We couldn't verify it. Either bring us the funds, or we'll take you to the bank to get the check, to get another check. So that's what they decided. He drove me to the bank. I went to the bank. That was that. I gave him the option of giving him, some cash today and the remaining of it in the morning. And there was a lot of back and forth. Some people were saying yes, other people were saying no. He told me you're good. Then he said, you're not good. So I really don't. And before you guys got here, we were about to sign something. He told me that he had given it to his accounting team or something, and he had already called and verified something.
so at the bank, when you physically went there to get the check, they never gave you an issue when it came to getting the check or obtaining it with, you finding out that there was no availability of funds. They never gave you an issue with that?
No, I had pending deposits that were coming into the account. That's why they said, within 24 to 48 hours. And I asked them, and they said, no, we deposited. It takes a couple of days to clear.
And which bank did you physically go in person to?
The one today or the one?
The one today. Which one did you go in person to?
They're the ones that took me, so...
Is it the credit union right down the street over here?
No, it's First Horizon. So they're not near here. They're about 20 minutes out from here.
So they took you to a First Horizon location?
Yes, they took me. They themselves took me in the blue BMW. The guy drove me there.
Which may apply under Florida Statute Section 831.0 to 1 forgery. Checks printed through QuickBooks as draft instruments drawn on an account with no corresponding funds and unverifiable by the bank may constitute forged instruments. If so, the charge is a third-degree felony carrying up to 5 years under Florida law. The Florida Communications Fraud Act, Section 817.034, may also apply if the scheme involved multiple transactions exceeding $20,000. The vehicle financing through American Credit Acceptance exceeded $20,000. If prosecutors frame this as a coordinated scheme, sentencing exposure increases substantially. Now for the grades. The investigating officer receives a B+. Miranda was properly administered. The interview technique produced critical admissions without coercion. The decision to release the male associate while arresting the primary check writer showed proportional judgment. One note: offering leniency in exchange for truthfulness approaches a line courts have scrutinized as potentially undermining the voluntariness of a Miranda waiver. Best practice is to avoid implied promises during the advisement process. The subject receives a C+. Her voluntary appearance at the dealership demonstrated good faith. She did not flee or resist. However, her decision to waive Miranda rights and speak at length despite an existing Outstanding fraud matter in Charlotte County represented a significant legal error. The admission that she knew funds were unavailable when the first check was issued is now on record and will be the centerpiece of any prosecution. The dealership receives an A-. Notification to law enforcement was timely and appropriate. The decision to release the vehicle before the down payment fully cleared, however, created the loss exposure that made this investigation necessary in the first place.
You got nothing on him.
Yes.
Working backwards, like I said.
Yes. That's what you just said.
Chad and I agreed to let him go with this kid. Take her now because.
Correct. That's what me and Andy just had a whole conversation on. Because he's like, yeah, we can talk with him. He's willing to tell us. I got her since we know she hit it. So I'm going to get her for the other end and then grab that. But here's the issue. I'm missing. We can talk to him about.
She just went to jail. You just turned yourself in for insurance fraud.
We need to see if they can tell us where the car is because now we have to make it 10.
Fucking let somebody walk away and go in the fucking bathroom.
We figure out where it is or so we have to put the
I don't
car
care
in
if it's male or
10.
female. You don't got the fucking go. Why don't we talk to her?
So if somebody wants to do that, I'm going to grab all the 42 from the business we have.
Let me find. Stand by with her.
Yeah. Because Chung's inside there with her.
No, I know. Stand by just in case something happens and we got to run in there.
Okay.
So is this Jesus?
I guess. I don't know.
Oh, you're the climber.
I'm sorry, can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Joe is not getting arrested?
At this point, or from what my knowledge, no.
So he's going to be able to take our son home?
Yes.
Okay. Would you be able to tell me what I'm being arrested with?
As of right now, it's going to be for fraud.
For what kind of fraud?
Fraud as of right, so felony fraud because of the $9,500.
For the check that I brought in today?
Okay. Okay.
From your knowledge, is there something? Is this something that I can bail and out of and go home, or?
I don't know because of certain fraud things. I don't want to give you any false information.
Okay.
The key lesson from this footage is the Fifth Amendment in practice. The right to remain silent exists precisely for situations like this one, where a subject has prior legal exposure, faces a new criminal investigation, and where voluntary statements can transform a civil matter into a felony conviction. Silence is not guilt. Under Salinas v. Texas 2013, pre-arrest silence can be used against a defendant. Post-Miranda silence cannot. Invoking the right to counsel after Miranda stops all questioning immediately. That option was available here and was not exercised. The footage is a clear illustration of why it should be.